Hi guys, welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. Normally I don't do this. Normally I don't do reviews of sample bottles. I usually only do reviews of full bottles that I have. But I had a couple samples sent to me by Matt Floyd, and I opened this one last night to try it just for myself. And I poured it in my glass. I took a sip of it and immediately poured it back into the sample bottle because I immediately decided that I needed to do a review because it's that good. This one is Parker's Heritage Heavy Char 10-year barrel proof bourbon. I just want to jump into the glass and swim around. Oh. This actually reminds me a lot of the Day 5 bourbon from the Advent calendar. I'm not going to spoil what that is here. You have to go watch that video, especially if you're in the Advent calendar group. It's very dark. It's very rich. It's burnt caramel, burnt brown sugar. You know, like if you're taking and encrusting pecans with brown sugar and candying them. There's a little bit of melon that I pick up, maybe honeydew. It's bready. It's like a nice Italian bread, you know, crusty. Oh man, the rye just explodes on the taste. You don't really pick up much rye at all in the nose, but it's so there on the taste. Good grief. It's a spicy gal. That's a spicy gal. Let's see what the nose looks like after we taste it. See, now I'm smelling the rye. That's amazing. That's phenomenal. I'm so glad to have a sample of that. Whew. I can get the Heavy Char rye, but I haven't seen a Heavy Char bourbon yet anywhere. So getting the opportunity to taste it, mind-blowing. This one is a Justin's House of Bourbon, 13-year single barrel strength. They don't say where it came from. And they're spinning sales BS saying that if they tell you where it came from, they have to charge more. Bullcrap. If saying where it came from would make it more valuable, they would say where it came from and sell it to you for more. That's not how it works. That doesn't even make sense. Most likely, if they told you where it came from, they'd have to sell it for less. That's the gamesmanship that gets played. But let's see. This one I haven't tasted or nosed before right now. Seems familiar. You know what I think? Interesting. Interesting. If I had to bet, I would say that this is either a Russell's Reserve pick or this might be a Knob Creek. This might be a Knob Creek 13-year barrel proof, single barrel. But see, what's throwing me is I'm picking up notes that I find in Knob Creek, but I'm also picking up notes that I find in Russell's Reserve, which is very weird. Obviously, it can't be both. I get the green note that I get on Russell's Reserve, but I'm also getting some of the nutty notes that I get on Knob Creek. And so it's really short-circuiting my brain right now. On the nose, I would lean towards Russell's Reserve. On the taste, though, I lean more Knob Creek. That's really weird. And if it's either one of those two, Justin's House of Bourbon is ripping everybody off, charging $150 for that. I'm going to have to get out a Russell's Reserve store pick and some of my 13-year-old Knob Creek single barrels and test my theory. Interesting. Wow, that's fascinating. Fascinating. The Parker's Heritage, out of this world. The Justin's House of Bourbon, it's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. It's absolutely delicious. But it drives me nuts having a mystery like that where they don't want to say where it comes from. It just gets my wheels turning. So that's like overriding my appreciation for this. It's good whiskey. It's absolutely delicious. I think the taste is a little better than the nose, which is the opposite of what I like. I prefer the nose to be really outstanding. I'm better at nosing a whiskey than I am at actually physically tasting it. Weird. I'm better at nosing than at tasting. And so I prefer the nose to be outstanding and the palate to be, I can be a little, okay with it not being perfect on the palate as long as the nose is spectacular. So this one's the opposite of that. It's interesting on the nose, but it's better on the palate. Anyway, I thought both of these were worthy of doing a little sample review video. I don't do that very often, but here we are. And I'm glad I did, because now I'm going to test my theory and see if I can figure out where this comes from. But this, on the nose going back to it, good grief. Parker's Heritage knows how to heavy char some barrels and make delicious whiskey. I don't even know. I don't even know where to go with that. That is phenomenal nose. Oh, that's so good. Thank you so much, Matt, for sending me these. I really, really appreciate it. Wow, out of this world. And your Sam Houston sample will be in the super flight of Sam Houston that I'm going to shoot in a couple days. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, have a great day.